Time's wasting, Mr. Miles.
Yeah, I'm coming.
We're nearly done, you know.
And then what?
You'll see. Maybe they'll even let you watch when it begins. It's not as terrible as you think.
Look, I know you're not gonna let me leave. So why not tell me what's going on? Humor me.
I'm not an idiot, Mr. Miles. I think you've already learned quite a bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not.
All right, let me ask you something else then.
Yes?
Some of the stuff I'm seeing in the Animus, sometimes it seems wrong. Untrue, like the history is off somehow. It doesn't...
It doesn't what, Mr. Miles? Match up with what you read on an online encyclopedia?
Yeah.
What your high school history teacher taught you? Let me ask you something. Do these supposed experts have access to secret knowledge kept hidden from the rest of us?
There are books, letters, documents, all sorts of source material from back then. Some of it seems to contradict what the Animus is showing me.
Anyone can write a book, and they can put whatever they want on its pages. Anything. Used to be, we thought the world was flat.
Some people still do.
Yes, and they publish books about it. Or that the moon landing was a hoax. I believe there's also a book claims the world was created in 7 days. A bestseller, too.
Yeah.
Where's this going, Doc?
The point, I suppose, is that you shouldn't trust everything you hear, everything you read. What's that your ancestors said? Nothing is true?
Everything is permitted.
Yes, exactly. It's part of what makes the Animus so spectacular. There's no room for misinterpretation.
There's always room.
Touché, Mr. Miles. Now that I've answered your question, can we begin?
Well, there you go. Don't think you can talk to them at all, to be honest. In the mornings, I've tried several times, it just doesn't work. So we're just going to hop straight in. And it's sequence 6. Oh, so close.
Whenever you're...
I'm ready.
When you're out of knives, refill your stock by returning to Messiah, or by pickpocketing thugs.
And I'm sure I get some more throwing knives. I'm almost positive.
Come in, my student. We have much to discuss. We are close, Altaïr. Robert de Sable is now all that stands between us and victory. It is his mouth gives the orders. His hand pays the gold. With him dies the knowledge of the Templar treasure and any threat it might pose.
I still don't understand how a simple bit of treasure could cause so much chaos.
The Peace of Eden is temptation given form. Merely look at what it's done to Robert. Once he tasted of its power, the thing consumed him. He saw not a dangerous weapon to be destroyed, but a tool. One that would help him realize his life's ambition.
He dreamed of power then?
Yes and no. He dreamed, still dreams, like us, of peace.
But this is a man who sought to see the Holy Land consumed by war.
No, Altaïr. How can you not see when you're the one that opened my eyes to this?
What do you mean?
What do he and his followers want? A world in which all men are united. I do not despise his goal. I share it. But I take issue with the means. Peace is something to be learned, to be understood, to be embraced.
He would force it.
And rob us of our free will in the process.
Strange to think of him in this way.
Never harbor hate for your victims, Altaïr. Such thoughts are poison, and will cloud your judgment.
Could he not be convinced then, to end his mad quest?
I spoke to him in my way, through you. What was each killing if not a message? But he has chosen to ignore us.
Then there's only one thing left to do.
Jerusalem is where you faced him first. It's where you'll find him now. Let this final offering lend you strength. Go, Altaïr. It's time to finish this.
Awesome. We've got our bigger sword. And there we go. Extra throwing knives. Told you. It's this way you can easily tell when you're going to run out of knives, because you should always try to ensure that you've got those 5 on your shoulder.
You won't often get a second chance to strike.
It's like, what's that game called? Dark Sector. They came up with a very, very ingenious way of having your health and whatnot just on your shoulder. Sort of a precursor to Dead Space, where the Dead Space's health bar is always on the back. Dark Sectors worked in very much the same way, and is a very surprising game that they didn't actually sequel that. Because I mean, it isn't that it didn't sell well, it did. It isn't that there was anything outwardly wrong with the game, because there wasn't. It's just maybe one of those launch titles that gets lost in the launch. Well, with the current launch that we've got franchises that are coming up, and there's the like Assassin's Creed and Killzone. That's all going. You've got Knack, which may turn into a franchise. It may just be that game. But that also, to me, I've seen 1 or 2 videos. Reminds me of Azuric, Rise of Parathia from the old Xbox system. That one as well. That was overly complex though. That one didn't develop into a second game, which, given how complex it was, is not beyond the realms of possibility. But this makes you wonder whether or not the new crop of games that are coming out will spawn franchises, or will they be self-contained games within themselves? And that's another thing entirely. Have we moved beyond the franchise of video games to self-contained video games, ones that are stories within and of themselves? This one originally, yeah, it's kind of open-ended. I'm not going to spoil it for you, just in case you've not watched it, but it ends the way that it should do to be a self-contained game. I think that's as good as I can say that. But another one that didn't would have to be Dante's Inferno. That one definitely opened, closed with a sequel in mind, which never then came about, which was weird. Infamous, yeah, not so much. That one was maybe not planned so much with a sequel in mind, but it definitely lent itself to having a sequel. But Dark Sector is weird. That one, nah.
When you are exposed, use sharp turns or climb over buildings to break your pursuer's line of sight.
So yeah, it just makes me wonder what the next generation will actually bring. Will it be the tried and true franchises that we've had so many times before? Will Call of Duty finally break? Hopefully. Will other franchises develop? Will self-contained games be the future? I gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this generation immensely. And the one thing I am really looking forward to, and I know a lot of people are as well, Knights of the Old Republic 3. Not the Old Republic MMO. Not anything else. Knights of the Old Republic 3. I would love that game to come out. And with this generation of software, God, it would look awesome. Anyway, I'm going to hold off here. That's my spiel for the upcoming slew of generational games, and I'm going to wait to speak to... Is Malik again? Yeah, Malik. And that's pretty much going to be it. So we're nearly done. We'll catch you on the next one. So see you in a bit. Bye.